Today, we're going to be going over why today's trade was a winning trade and why we took it. First, we're going to start off with when the market opened. The market opened below our 4-hour support line, which is this one, and our next ones would be these ones. But it opened below this support line, and I was watching it throughout the morning. It came back up and wanted to test it, but it didn't test it, so it came back down. It was consolidating all right here. When it consolidates, it means it is staying in the one price range, and like you see no movement at all, basically. But right here, it finally tested this support line right here, and it finally broke out. It broke out, and this candle just basically confirmed the breakout. Broke out down to this support line, which it didn't break. It just bounced off of it. Little bounce off of here, and it started creating a trend line. A trend line is whenever the stock is basically doing this, like a little up and down, up and down, up and down. And right here, I thought it was gonna come back down and test it again for us to have a breakthrough, but then it broke through the top way, and it tested basically like the highs of the day, but it didn't want to break through, so it came back down, bounced off of the trend line for a bit, and this candle finally broke through. And whenever it broke through, that's when I got into puts. And I put a stop loss because I wanted to go take my dad down to town. And I don't know, I only did that because I didn't want to look at my phone while I was driving. But my stop loss was literally probably like $5 to $10 off of like where it bottomed out at. I basically got stopped out right here. If I put it down maybe like $10 more, I wouldn't have been stopped out. But after it did like a little fake, a little fakey, whatever, broke some ankles to get people's stop loss, to hit people's stop loss, literally like mine. It did that, and it finally broke down so much, broke through this support line, then touched this support line, broke through a little bit, but it did not want to break it. It closed right at it, stayed at it for a bit, then it finally bounced off of this support line into the next support line. And after that, it broke through that support line, tried to test this one again, but then it came back down, stayed at the support line, bounced off. It got a huge bounce and tested the trend line again. Bounced off the trend line, and it came back down to test this trend, not this trend line, this support line. After it bounced off of it for a bit, it finally shot back up to the neck. It went through even the trend line, and it went through our next support level, bruh. This is where if you would have gotten the calls right here, this would have been my take profit. I would have got out right here, but I didn't because I got stopped out earlier in the day because of a mistake that I did myself, no one else's other than mine. But if you guys did take the trade and stayed in it, you guys would have made bank because the contracts I got into were worth $100 a year. If you got in maybe up here, the contracts were probably going for like $70 or whatever. And if you bought them here, eh, you would have peaked at $331 because at the bottom of this, those contracts, the same exact contracts, are selling for 330. So if you put in $70, maybe like right here, up here, and you got out down here, you would have made over $200 just on one trade in matter of 5 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes if you guys just waited. But yes, that's the reason why today's trade was a winning trade because we saw a trend line and I broke through the trend line and it confirmed it and it touched both of our support levels. The first take profit and our second take profit it hit. Then it bounced off it, bounced off the lines, and this whole time is when Jerome Powell was speaking. He is a market mover. Any words he says can affect the market a lot. So you really got to pay attention to what he's saying. But I'm not too sure what he was saying right here because I wasn't watching the live stream because I was with my dad in town driving around and wasn't trying to be on my phone. But yes, today that is the reason why it was a winning trade is because we broke through a trend line that we saw, and that is the reason why I took this trade. But I got stopped out because of a mistake that I made. But hopefully tomorrow is a better day for me personally. But that's pretty much it on why I took the trade and reason why it's a winning trade. Hope you guys have a good day. You guys be safe.